for the past like 5 months.
I'm gonna assume that we
Yeah.
are.
Anyone want?
but if
I'm
we're
gonna guess
not,
yes.
then
There's a video posted that just says "Welcome to our live show," so I'm gonna assume that we are going to be live. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, we're live.
I also just got that notification. What's up, everyone? We're finally back. It's been It's been well over a month, right? I think the last episode was March 22nd.
Was that whenever Brendan and Ethan and I talked a little first
Yep.
weekend of March Madness? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So if you only get your news from us, nothing has happened since the second weekend of March Madness. So we're gonna catch you up a little bit today.
Which, I mean, really nothing has happened. Michigan won the title. Who cares, right? Not me. The MLB season started. There's 162 games, so 40 of them have passed. Whatever.
It does feel crazy that already like 40 games have gone by, though.
Yeah, we're
that's what the baseball season does to you, though. It flies by. So
you're just like you get complacent. And you're like, there's so many games. I don't have to worry about all of them. And you're like, all of a sudden you like blink and it's like, it's June. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's how I feel with it just being May. And then it's gonna be June, July, and then it'll be August, and then it'll be.
That is how months work, Austin.
True.
That is how
you can look that
up. Guys, our viewers, we have no prep sheet. We're just going with the flow. Obviously, we'll talk baseball, of course. NBA playoffs are going on as well, so we want to talk about that as well. I didn't even watch most of the regular season. I know none of you guys watched any of the regular season. Maybe here and there, if it was on YouTube TV, I'm tuning in. But the NBA playoffs they've been lit so far. They've been pretty chill. So first, we can talk baseball. Let's talk baseball. Let's talk about, obviously, all of our favorite teams are in the National League Central. Brendan, you are a Cubs fan. Graham, even though you work for the Giants, you're a Cardinals fan, and I'm a Brewers fan. Graham, I'm going to throw it to you. You don't even have to talk about the Cardinals. If you want to talk about the Giants, we were just talking. If you got something, throw it at us. But no, just talk about the Cardinals. They're obviously good. I was just watching the.
Obviously, I don't know if that's an obviously good kind of thing. Graham, did you think the Cardinals were going to be above 500 by May?
So I kind of have wavered all offseason. I've been like teetering back and forth because this was a rebuilding year. Like going like up front, pretty much everyone knew, hey, this is a group that the results of the season don't really matter. We're looking to find the guys that are going to be a part of this next group of great Cardinals teams. And this year and maybe some of next year was going to be like a trial period for a lot of young guys like Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, Victor Scott, these young pieces that are really going to prove themselves. But at the same time, I have been a long-standing believer that Ollie Marmol, no matter what talent is given to him on his roster, is going to find a way to win 83 games. That's what he's done. Whether he has, really talented veteran rosters like he did at the start of his tenure, or, the last couple of years, the teams have, the production hasn't always been there, but the wins, they arrive in the mid-80s regardless. So I always thought this was in the realm of possibilities. I'm not going to say that this is what the Cardinals are going to be this year, but like they're fun. Last year people were calling them the young and hungry birds. This year you can kind of say the same thing, and especially in the case of Jordan Walker, who was touted as one of the top prospects in baseball for years, and we kind of felt like we saw him plateau. Right, he's just hitting hard ground balls all the time. He has come to life early on this season. Now, is he going to be, prone to maybe a slump at some point, possibly? But you can see why he was touted so highly as a prospect. And so this Cardinals offense is fun. And regardless of what the results are going to be for the rest of the year, you've got young, talented offensive pieces. It's a good, it's like a good league pass team in the NBA. If you don't have a team, watch the Birds. They're going to be fun. They're going to be competitive. And so that's kind of where I stand. with this iteration of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
a lot of
with
people. Uh, 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 no. Okay.
Go, Brendan.
So I think a lot of people, you talk to any Cardinals fan before the season, really everyone was out on Jordan Walker. I mean, he looked pitiful last year. He had a good rookie season. Like I'm taking a look at his stats right now, right? But he was up and down throughout AAA for most of that, or not most of his rookie year, but up and down throughout his rookie year. And year two comes around, and he's almost solely in AAA. And last year, same thing, up and down. It's like, dude, he's just 23 years old. And so I think a lot of fans, especially, even myself, you forget when a player's been in the league for at least a few years, you think, oh man, if he's not producing, then he's not going to be that guy. He's 23 years old, and he looks like a grown ass man. Like that. That
He
guy's
did
got
at 20 too. Like he has been.
He's got all the tools to be that guy, and so he's definitely gonna be the hitter that goes through slumps. Like he just like, the hit and miss is still there. He's gonna be a high strikeout guy. He's not gonna walk a lot, but that's what I mean. I would be okay with that if I'm batting. What right now he's batting 307, slugging 591. I would be perfectly fine with that if I was a Cardinals fan.
Oh yeah, that's way more than what I was hoping. Like, I would have been happy with a season where his OPS is like mid 700s.
Yeah, like 750. Right. You're chilling.
Yeah,
that's
an and like just from where we were at this time last year to where we're at now with Jordan Walker, like just miles better than where we thought we would be, and so that makes me really happy. And then obviously, JJ.
Isn't it crazy too? His Jordan Walker's OPS last year, for the season in like a little more than 300, 350 was like around 580.
Yeah,
I remember, which is not good. And now I know it's over 900 this year.
Yeah, 964.
60s.
Yeah. So like. What a year. And then, by the way, like I did this thing where a few weeks ago, I looked at his Savant page from last year and this year, and the amount of blue circles that have gone and changed into bright red circles. Pretty crazy. The only problem with Jordan Walker, it's not all sunshine and roses, is the defense is still terrible. The defense is still terrible.
A guy who came up right as a third baseman, and you know that probably wasn't going to be where he'd find MLB playing time anyway. But then the addition of Nolan Arenado, right, pushed him. They needed to find a spot for him. They pushed him out to the outfield. And he's physically he's an athletic guy, but yeah, it's just learning a new position, right? So yeah.
So
maybe he'll be a DH. Maybe I don't know, but. Yeah, you got to be.
When you watch him move out in the outfield, it's almost like it's like unorthodox. He just he's super awkward, and he's ginormous. He's so big, and I don't know. I honestly I thought there was a point maybe this season, depending on obviously how Gorman plays, could you see Walker maybe get some innings at third base. And Cardinals have no signs of putting him back at third base, which, I mean, at this point, I probably wouldn't. He's played all of his, at least at this point, his MLB career in right field. So, might as well keep it that way or put him at DH. It's your only two options. And I think
Go, Brennan. I also want to say, since we're still talking about the St. Louis Cardinals, I do think that maybe there's a little bit of luck that's happened that has them 6 games over 500. Their run differential is 0
it's
right
now. 0
so,
right now. Yeah, saw that before the game.
And so maybe I haven't watched every Cardinals game this year, but you don't see a lot of teams with the 0 run differential stay several games over 500. But I don't know if that's really the goal, right? Maybe this will be really interesting to me if the Cardinals maintain this kind of at around maybe 5 to 8 games over. Once you start like getting into June and July, it's like, are the Cardinals buying at the deadline? Like that was not like you would not have expected that to begin the year.
I'm telling you, it's the Ollie Marmol experience, right? Like he wins games that he shouldn't. And say what you want about what the production has been over the course of his tenure as the Cardinals manager. He finds ways to win games, and he doesn't win. The Cardinals haven't been elite outside of 2022, which was his first year, where that was the Pujols like Renaissance last hurrah year, where they won 92 games. They went on that big win streak, right? And they lose in the wild card series. Or they win the division, they lose the wild card series to Philly. Aside from that year, they haven't, had the numbers to say like, hey, we should be a 500 or better team. And in 2 out of the 3 years, they have been. So this is kind of what he does, right? I don't know.
I don't think that they'll even buy at the deadline. I think
I don't know if it matters.
I think they'll stand put. It's like, you know what? The young fellas are playing. They're hooping. If we suck in the second half, we suck in the second half. But, I mean, you got to let the young fellas play, and you just got to – I mean, we'll talk about the rest of the NL Central as well, but I don't think that there's a point buying when – especially, obviously things will happen. I don't think all 5 teams in the division will finish above 500. But
eventually they're going to start playing each other, which is like what's happening now.
Right. Yeah, which I've got this shit ass game on, and I'm watching fucking Ivan Herrera. Take care of business. So
yeah, speaking of luck, right? You look at the Brewers, right? Their run differential right now is plus 45, and they're 3 games over 500.
Yeah, and usually they're the team that's like the luck's on their side. They're always winning, and they're always winning the close games. You look back to last year, how many close games they won, and you look at the past 5 years of Milwaukee baseball. They win every close game. That's what it feels like. If it's a 1-run game, the Brewers are going to win that game. That's just not what's happened this year. And I think early on it was, hey, we're going to keep giving the ball to Trevor McGill in the 9th inning. And he was just not himself. He was pitching horrible. But since kind of being taken out of that spot, you throw in Abner Uribe, who should have been there to start the season. You throw Abner in there, let Trevor work in the 7th or 8th inning, and you go from there. He's looking much better. It's just been injury riddled so far for Milwaukee this year. Which Andrew Vaughn and Jackson Chourio just made their season debut tonight, and it's 40 games into the season, right? If you were to see the lineups that Pat Murphy's throwing out there, if that was your favorite team, you would not watch that team because oh my gosh, I keep seeing David Hamilton, and I watched Greg Jones start fucking 10 games in 2 weeks, and he had one single is all he put up as a Milwaukee Brewer. Blake Perkins sucks. He just sucks.
I was going to say, yeah, for all that, for like what we say, like the offense has been the problem for Milwaukee at times. Like they're just –
it's just so weird because like – and they put up a graphic before the game. Like the Cardinals offense has been good. They've hit 44 home runs this year, and they're scoring like 4.9 runs per game. Milwaukee's at like 5.2 runs a game, but then they've hit 22 home runs. The power's just not there. It's obviously with Jackson Chourio, Andrew Vaughn, and Christian Yelich out, you're not going to hit a lot of home runs. But they like Jake Bauers. If Jake Bauers is your main power hitter, your team sucks. Like you suck, but this team somehow doesn't suck. Like
it's the Brewer way.
That's just what it is.
What's going to happen though is that there's going to be some random middle June series against the White Sox where the Brewers all of a sudden score like 12 runs in game one and then 9 in the second game and then 7. And it's like, all right, they're back. And then they go on and score like 9 runs a game for the next 12.
That's what they
Like
did
all of a
last
sudden,
year.
like you kind of just expect it to happen. Like the Brewers kind of caught fire in June and July last year.
That's what they do.
I remember
they play for 162.
At this time last year, right? We all met up in Marion and had lunch, and you were like, the season was over.
Yeah,
You were about as down on this team as on the Brewers as you could have been, and obviously, like last year was one of the most fortuitous years in Milwaukee Brewers history. So it's so early.
Yeah,
like,
it was. Yeah, I mean, it's the most successful regular season they've ever seen. That's why I told Joey in the group chat. He started doing his thing, talking shit, and I'm like, if this is happening 90 games into the season, it's like, all right, you got me. It's like, I watched this team. They were 21-25 last year, and they ended up winning 97 games and being the number 1 seed in all of baseball. Like, I don't care what's happening in this game. Right? Obviously, in the moment, I am, but in the long run, you know. But then again, last year the division wasn't as good as it is this year. Like every team's balling out. Pittsburgh's balling out. St. Louis has been great. The Cubbies, man, they've been really good as of late, and so
you talk about kind of catching fire. There was talks through 25 games in Chicago. It's like, what the hell is wrong with the Cubs? Because they were like, it took them until they. So what basically the Cubs, what got them to being 10 games over 500 was basically a 10-game win streak, because it took them like 17 or 18 games into the season to win 2 games in a row. Like baseball's just so weird. It's like, you'll think it's like early April. It's like, what the hell? This team can't win 2 games in a row. Like they were, I don't even remember back to, but it's like, yeah. And who would have thought they would what would happen to the Mets and the Phillies too? Like the Cubs swept the Mets. And if you're like, objectively, like that's a good win. Mets have a good lineup. Phillies, that's good win or good sweep. And it's like, what? I don't know what's happened to them. I saw that the Phillies got booed at a Flyers playoff game last night. So that's exciting. But gotta love Philly sports fans. But I do want to, go ahead and just give myself as a Cubs fan a little bit of an exit ramp if things don't go well. And just remember, just plant the seed in your head right now that the Cubs have so many bullpen injuries that they are literally just duct tape and Band-Aids out there. Can you throw it? Can you throw the ball over the plate? Like that's what we've got. Cade Horton out for the year. That sucks. Caleb Thielbar is on the IL. Porter Hodge is on the IL. Justin Steele won't be back until after the All-Star break. Hunter Harvey was supposed to be a bullpen guy. Jordan Wicks could have potentially slotted into the rotation to cover for maybe Cade Horton going down, and he's out. So they've got a ton of people in the bullpen. And Daniel Palencia, I don't know if he might be back in this series, but he was gone or out for a while as well. And you saw how absolutely electric he was for
Justin Steele.
Hmm?
Like Justin Steele, you haven't seen Justin Steele throw a baseball in, I mean, what feels like almost 2 years. I know it's not obviously been that long, but you don't know what you're going to get out of Justin Steele this year when he comes back.
You do not know. Yeah, like you don't know what you're getting out of a pitcher post Tommy John for sure.
Yeah.
Like pre-Tommy John Justin Steele, it's like, well, that's a probably top 2 or 3 starter in pretty much every team, right, at his best. Post Tommy John, you never know, especially if the velocity isn't there.
Which he wasn't a high velo guy anyways, but
right. But you saw with Shota Imanaga last year how things take a turn for a worse. Yeah. Things can go really poorly if your velo drops maybe 1 or 2 miles per hour from whenever you were dominant.
Yeah,
I love my brother and I call it like if you watch like Marquee Sports Network, we call it state TV because they're pushing the propaganda a little bit. but they would be like with Shota Imanaga, they're like, yeah, he just wasn't locating really well. And that was back whenever his fastball had dropped to like 89. And we were just like, nah, throw the ball harder. That's what the problem is. It's not that you ain't locating it. Throw it 92 again, not 89. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah. And the Reds. I mean, like, dude, and the Reds were, I mean, they were the hottest team in baseball, right? Which, is it lucky? Absolutely, yes. They've got a run differential of like -22. Like they're winning. They're actually quite literally winning every close game right now. I think they are undefeated in one-score games this year. Like, but once again, I've seen the Brewers be that team the past 5 years. They could very easily do it. I don't know.
Kind of annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not annoying knowing that my favorite team is going to win 95 games this year. And it's just like, that's just what's going to happen. And I'm like Graham, dude. Graham is a Brewer believer. He knows what's going to happen.
They're the Rays of the NL, right?
And it's beautiful.
For years, everyone, and this is just the analogy that came to my head, everyone was trying to talk about who are the Spurs of the East, right? The Atlanta Hawks in 2015 win 60 games with role players in their entire starting five. They get the 1 seed. They're the Spurs of the East. That's kind of, that was their nickname. The Brewers are the Rays of the National League. I think it's an apt comparison.
And which is a shame because, like, they're so goofy on how they spend money. Milwaukee spends money. They just spend it in the shittiest ways possible. Like okay, yeah, you re-sign Christian Yelich after he wins MVP. Okay, cool. Right? He's good when he plays, but at the same time, he's getting paid $26 million for the next 7 years. I gotta watch Christian Yelich play. Love him to death. I gotta watch him play for the next 7 years. He's probably gonna be ass. What are you watching in there?
I just so Spurs Wolves game 1 just turned on, and Terrence Shannon just got blocked on the first 2 possessions by Wemby. Both of the first 2 possessions, he gets right downhill blocked by Wemby. So it's
I hope he gets used to that.
A pseudo Wolves fan over the past 2 weeks. Well, really for the past year, but
so are there any other? The Braves are easily the best team in baseball right now. They're 15 games up. They look really, really good, even with Acuna going down. And the Phillies are bad. The Mets are bad. And so, I mean, the Braves, I mean, they're almost a shoe-in at this point.
We're 35 games into the season, and the Braves are 9 games up on everyone else in the NL East.
Which we saw this last year with the Mets. The Mets were up big early on in the season. They looked really, really good. And then the Phillies kind of started off slow, and then they surged in the second half of the year.
Yeah, but this Phillies team has started off even slower.
Yeah, which they've been all right since Evansville native Don Mattingly. Shout out Don Mattingly. Since he's taken over, they've been playing better baseball as of late, which is what it feels like every time.
Yeah, they're 7-3 over the last 10.
Yeah, like any time somebody fires their manager, that team's gonna win the next 7 of 10. But then after that is really when you see what this team is actually, what they can really do. It's an aging Phillies team. Bryce Harper hasn't been that great this year. I think I'm not for sure if Zach Wheeler is back or not, but I know that he's obviously coming off injury, and you obviously have Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo, but that team's just getting old. They're getting old. But then you look at a league, a division like the NL Central, and it's the youngest division in all of baseball, and so.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's crazy to me right now. At this point, if any NL Central team was in the AL Central, they'd be winning the division by 3 games.
Oh yeah, and Which the AL Central, it's been weak for a while. I mean, that's just
right. But usually, like we expected, like coming into this year, well, like in years past, right? You like, okay, well, Cleveland is probably the team to beat there, and now it's like, coming into this year, I expected Detroit to kind of control the division.
Now,
And-
with
Yeah.
Skubal missing several months now, that's going to at least limit their ceiling for the next, for the foreseeable future. And then
Yeah.
you have to wonder when he comes back, what position are they going to be in? Are they going to be are they still going to be 500? Are they going to be worse than 500? Are they going to be buying? Are they going to try and sell? Would they trade him if they are several games
that's-
below 500 on the last year of his
Yeah.
contract coming off injury? He would be probably the highest priced rental ever, and he would be doing it coming off a serious injury. That's a storyline to watch out for the next couple of months in the AL Central.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Passan said he's going to be out at least 2 to 3 months. He should return towards the end of the year. But man, you got a team like let's look at like the Dodgers are a very popular pick for Skubal because they have the assets, right? What does it mean for the Dodgers to give up assets to get Skubal towards the end of the year? Essentially nothing. I mean, like at the end of the day, they're going to probably have the best package, and they'll say, "Yeah, we'll absolutely trade. We know we'll pay him." Well, regarding the salary cap, this and that, but they know that if they have the chance to pay him, they'll pay him, and they'll give up whatever they need to get people for a playoff run. So that will be interesting to look out for. I'm watching the fucking Gary Sanchez up to bat. Can we go to the NBA?
Wait, I wanna say one more thing on that, and then I have a question I'm gonna pose to you guys.
Okay.
Just you mentioning Skubal to the Dodgers, I just am laughing thinking about having a team having Roki Sasaki and Tyler Glasnow coming out of the bullpen in playoff series. Like that would push Glasnow to the bullpen, right? Because you'd go Yamamoto, Otani, Snell, and who am I forgetting? Who's their fourth guy?
Fuck, dude. Now you got me confused. Okay, so Skubal, you'd have Skubal,
Oh, and Skubal.
Yamamoto. Yeah, okay.
Skubal, Snell, Yamamoto, Otani is a 4-game. Like, you only have to see Snell once in a 7-game series, right? Like that.
Golly.
That's nuts. Okay, the question I was going to ask, I'm going to list 6 teams. These 6 teams all either made the playoffs last year or missed it by less than like a game. They're all under 500 right now. How many are going to make the playoffs? Okay, so we have the reigning AL champion Toronto Blue Jays, are 16-19. The Boston Red Sox fired their coach. They're 14-21. The Seattle Mariners are 16-19. The Houston Astros are 14-21. The Phillies are 15-20, and the Mets are 13-22. We talked about them.
Yeah.
How many of those teams are going to make the playoffs in 2020?
I expect the Mariners to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're
I
only
think
they're
all those teams, they have the best chance.
The AL West has been relatively weak. Like I don't know if the Blue Jays, like looking at the rest of the AL, like I think the Blue Jays can probably sneak into the wild card series. They're also not that far out of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But at this point, I don't think the Mets are good. So like, I don't want to be on the record looking like an idiot, but like I don't think the Mets are going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they will. I mean, we just saw them. They were 20 games above 500 after 70 games last year, and like this, I don't know what it is with this team, but they're already willing to, like, their untouchables in their rotation are. And this is so funny to me that I see this. If you would have told me this 4 years ago that these 3, well, Nolan McLean obviously is an untouchable in their rotation, right? If you would have told me that Freddie Peralta and Clay fucking Holmes are your 2 untouchables in your starting rotation, I would have shit my pants. Like, that is such a Mets thing. That's such a Mets thing. Like, we're
Pay the
gonna
wrong
put
guys.
in the starting rotation, and he's gonna be an untouchable asset. Oh my gosh, that's so laughable. But they're already willing to give up Jonah Tong. They're already willing to give up, and we saw just this offseason, the prospects, they gave up Jet Williams and Brandon Sprout for Freddie. Freddie's awesome, right? But at the end of the day, it's just not clicking. It's just not working. The bullpen sucks. Oh my gosh, that bullpen is horrible. And who would have thought bringing in
Yeah, they've blown
Louis
a lot of close games too.
like you watched the Yankees blow all these games last year and their late game meltdowns, and the Mets say, you know what, we're gonna bring both of these guys. We're gonna keep them in New York. We're just gonna bring them to the other side, and they're equally as ass. Like they're not like Devin Williams is not good, which sucks. Like that sucks, but. I don't know. I don't think the Mets will make the postseason. I think that the Phillies will. I'm still a Phillies believer. I think that. I mean,
Man, the upside, just the whole upside with that team.
they're so good.
There's a version of the Phillies where you just like you look at the lineup up and down, and you're like, where are the outs? Like,
Yeah.
who's an
But
easy
it's just
AB,
not happening.
right?
But I will say, I do think or maybe this is the wrong way to go about it, but I feel like we've seen the ceiling on this Philadelphia Phillies roster, right? Like, they brought all these guys in their prime 4 years ago, right? With Turner and Schwarber and Bryce and Castellanos, and that whole crew. They bring them all in. They all peaked 4 years ago, right? And they've stayed at this level. But they haven't. They made a World Series when they probably shouldn't have gotten into the playoffs, and then they get the 1 seed last year. They get bounced by the Dodgers. Like, is it possible we've reached a point where like we know what this Phillies group is? They're not getting any better. That's kind of my
probably. At the end of the day, Bryce Harper is. I mean, his body's beat up. He's tore up his arm. I mean, he doesn't play in right field anymore. He's stuck at first base. It just feels like the power's not there with him anymore. Trey Turner is still fine. It's Trey Turner. I think he's gotten to be a better defender as he's aged, which is good. Like that's a good sign of aging as a shortstop. But then there's Schwarber. Schwarber's obviously still good, but I think they've kept pieces for too long. Like I think Brandon Marsh it's like, okay, that was cool a couple of years ago. I mean,
did you see?
Have
you seen the Brandon Marsh?
I've thought this though.
Did you say that one more time?
Have you seen the Brandon Marsh stat that's floating around right now?
No.
He is second in baseball history in BABIP, in batting average with balls in play. It's Ty Cobb, Brandon Marsh. Not even joking. It's just been floating around Twitter. He's got a career 370 BABIP.
Well, shit.
Wow.
Maybe I'd take it back.
Wow.
I'd take it back.
Wait. So does this mean he's like the world's like the second most? I just got lucky where I hit the ball, right?
I mean, mathematically, that's what that would tell you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I'd love to see what that list consists of. I'd love to see this list.
I can try and pull it up on Twitter. Let's see if I. Well, I guess I have.
Let me pull up Baseball Savant and see if I can go career BABIP leaderboards.
So funny.
Continue with what your point, Austin.
But I just think that you look at, and I think they did it with Castellanos too. I think they kept these guys for too long. Not that I think they kept obviously Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber for too long, but the other remaining pieces, the role players. It's like you went to the World Series in 23. Okay, you lost in 6 games. That was a good World Series. But then you miss out on obviously going back to the World Series in 24. I believe they brought in Brandon Marsh during the 24 season. You rode with Castellanos again. You've got Brandon Marsh. I mean, Alec Boehm is bad at baseball. Bryson Stott is not that good at baseball. Like you're rerunning the same mediocre role players left and right. And so whenever Bryce Harper's going slow, whenever, obviously Kyle Schwarber's awesome, but whenever your main piece is like JT Realmuto he's not that great anymore. They had the chance to move on from him this offseason, and they chose to keep him. And I just think that when you keep rolling back the same role players throughout this lineup and you keep seeing it not succeed, it's obviously not going to succeed. But they are good. This is a good team when they're all clicking on one cylinder, but how many times have we seen them click on the same cylinder? Maybe twice?
Yeah, 22, right? That was the first year of this iteration.
I guess it was 22. Okay, so 23 would have been the Diamondbacks, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Which, yeah, that year they were supposed to, they were the favorite in that series, and they got beat. Yeah, I don't know. I think go ahead, Brendan.
Speaking of disappointment, the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that group.
They've just been shockingly can't hold a game.
Yeah, probably because they don't have a left-hand reliever. They don't have any left-handed pitchers except for Erod. We're relying on Erod as the only lefty in our entire organization. That is so mind-boggling. Literally, you could throw it it's so funny because you could legitimately have an entire lineup. Let's say Zach Gallen's throwing. You could have an entire lineup of left-handed batters, and you will never see a pinch hitter. You just don't have to do that. A right-handed pitcher, a righty's coming out of the pen every time. Every time they go to the pen, it's going to be a righty. That is so funny to me. And obviously it's not working. They're a silly, goofy little team out there in Arizona.
I will say, if you take a look at, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the 10 teams in baseball that have scored the least total runs this year, I think you go into the year saying 9 of them are not World Series contenders, but at least playoff contenders. It's kind of crazy to go and look at that list. You've got the Padres at 145,
which they've disappointed greatly.
Yeah. Tatis has been bad.
7 games over 500.
Yeah,
they're they still have one of the best records in the National League. The White Sox are the one that you're okay, this team is supposed to be bad. And then you've got Toronto, Seattle, Cincinnati, Boston, Philadelphia, the Rangers, the Mets, and the Giants. It's shocking. All of those are, you would have thought, hey, this team's at least
the Giants.
The Giants, hey, don't look now. 2 runs scored in the first inning, and 2 runners on for Willy Adames, your guy. So
fuck, I love that guy, man. You know what? Now that we've gotten to this, and I knew that this would come up at least at some point, dude, I would sell my soul for Willy Adames to come back, just so I don't have to.
How did you know that would come up, Austin?
That's all. Anytime I text Graham,
bro, I think about Willy Adames all the time.
If you had to watch Joey Ortiz play baseball, you would say the same exact shit I'm saying.
Willie got K'd up as we speak.
Hey, that's okay. He's got aura, bro. He's so chill. He's just a happy guy.
Due to bounce back in May.
Dude, they said that all year last year, and he never bounced back.
Did you know he is the first Giant to hit? He hit 30 pumps last year.
He's the first Giant since Bonds, man.
Barry Bonds hit 30 home runs in a season. It's just,
what does that say about
pitcher?
Is it just that
about Willy Adames than it does anybody else?
Just a super pitcher-friendly ballpark, especially for left-handed hitters, right? You got Triples Alley out there. You're just not hitting lots of home runs as a lefty. And then
Willie hit 30 homers last year. Is that
30?
Is that real?
Yeah.
No.
30 pumps with a 421 slug.
What?
See, yeah. Hey, when are we doing our 5 out like live show from San Francisco this year? We gotta do that.
Whenever.
Good luck.
Whenever.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Like
Yeah.
top four to five ballpark in MLB in terms of views
Yeah.
and probably just overall. Like, come on, a summer day game in San Francisco.
I thought so. With my schedule, I'll have like Mondays are the only days that the minor league team doesn't play. So I thought, today would be an opportunity to go get out there. I decided I'd come in and do a little bit of work today, but on some Monday I'm gonna have to get out there. Like that'll be sooner rather than later.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Oracle's awesome. Yeah, we can pivot to the NBA offs now.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're finished, Austin. I don't know anything about it.
This fucking I hate the Cardinals, dude. Like, oh my gosh. This is so infuriating. So I'm watching them get absolutely oh my gosh, bro. David Hamilton, bro. Never mind. I'm just gonna turn off the game. Anyways, so the NBA playoffs, they've been awesome as always. I mean, I think pretty much at this point, most basketball fans they won't watch season basketball, but then they'll tune in during the postseason. And postseason basketball is a good product. It is. I mean, it is. The energy's there. The crowd is in it. The players feed into the crowd. It's awesome. I think the first. Well, we can. I mean, just to recap. So far in the West, obviously the Oklahoma City Thunder are like the greatest basketball team of all time, and so they took care of business pretty easily is probably an understatement. Like they beat the shit out of the Suns.
There was a single droplet of sweat from any Oklahoma City Thunder player or fan.
They won by double digits in every game except game 4 when they won by 9.
Yep.
Like that's pretty. That's just hilarious to me. And then
remind me who they played.
They played the Phoenix Suns.
They played the Phoenix Suns. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a great basketball team.
Who they were complaining. I don't want to be the guy that only talks about how bad playoff expansion is, which we can talk about non sequitur about the NCAA tournament expanding, the worst idea anyone has ever had. But the NBA play-in is so stinky doo-doo. The Phoenix Suns did not spend a single second in the 2025-26 season in the 8 seed. They were 7 or above the entire year. And then they land in the 7 seed. They play the play-in game. They lose. They move down to the 8 seed. They have to play OKC. They get swept. Horrible. You play 82 games of an NBA season, and you can get your season drastically altered by a 1-game playoff.
No.
Dumb.
Which it's so weird to me, that you bring that up because the NBA I mean, we've all seen, and we could talk about this at some point as well, is the way that Adam Silver looks at tanking is, I mean, I've never seen anybody look at tanking this way. But then you are allowing a 7th seed, let's say the Phoenix Suns, okay? You're allowing a team that has been a 7th seed all year, dude. Let's say they just happen to sneak their way in. They could lose 2 games, and then they could potentially have the number 1 overall pick because of you're lowering. So you want a team like that to get the number 1 overall pick and incentivize teams that are doing that. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like
he is trying to solve tanking by flattening the lottery odds. I don't think he realizes that what that does is it allows more teams to tank. He's literally going backwards on what he's trying to do. He is getting further away from solving the problem because the more you allow teams to be bad, the more bad teams that have a chance for the number one pick, the more teams they're going to say, let's be really bad.
Exactly.
That's all it is. Like this year, the Warriors clinched the last play-in spot, I think, like mid-March. Like there were 5 teams
That's
in the West
ridiculous.
that won less than 25. Like they won like 27 games, would have gotten you like 11th in the West. Like the entire West, that they were like, we're not going to make the playoffs. Let's just lose as many games as we can, and we're going to find ourselves in the top 8. That's all we need. It's horrible, horrible product at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, it's pitiful. That's when you see the really bad teams put out
Although
some hilarious players.
Before a show, I think, like at the opening night of the NBA season, we played a game that's like, let's see how many players we can name in the starting lineup of this NBA team. Right? Do you remember that, Austin?
Yes.
You and I played, like, that was at the start of the season. And then you do it again at the end of the season, and it's guys that, like, I've never heard of. They didn't play college ball at the Power 5 level.
Yeah, dude.
Like these guys, I don't know. There are guys that the simulator engine on 2K could not create that are starting NBA games in April. But yeah, again, that's neither here nor there.
Hey, that's why I liked working G League games in Arizona. I saw some hilarious players that I haven't thought about in years.
Dude, you'll see like Victor Oladipo out there, and like
I saw Mo Bamba play basketball. Like,
dude, legend.
That is tough.
Say, that might be the most wrong I've ever been on an NBA player. Was my Mo Bamba evaluation? Like, how does that guy not make it in the league? He's 7 foot with a 7'10" wingspan. He runs the fastest 3/4 court sprint in his draft lottery, and he can shoot it a little bit. Like, where can that guy not play? And then you realize, oh, this guy, like, his hands and his legs are belonging to 2 different brains. So that was but
I also saw like Trey McGowan's play basketball. Like a lot of guys that you're just like,
the G League
is there a shot for you to ever play in the league? No.
The G League is not doing what it was intended to do. It's not for development. It's just like a secondary league. It's just essentially at this point like another pro league. It's like it's closer, like, to make a baseball comparison, it's closer to like independent ball than like a minor league. Like you're just like Frank Kaminsky is and like Drew Timme have been G League warriors. Like those guys are never gonna play in the NBA.
Yeah, it's not like a pipeline. It's just like another. It almost reminds me.
Frank Kaminsky is still playing basketball.
I don't know if he did this year, but I do remember last year there was like him and Timmy were going head to head. They like had dueling 30 balls, and it's like these guys
March Madness legend.
These guys were 2
legends, bro. Drew Timme was that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the UFL, like how, kind of. You look at a UFL roster every once in a while, and you're like, holy shit, dude! Look at this guy,
dude.
Like,
Max Duggan.
Yeah, like
Max Duggan's
you're seeing like the AJ McCarrons and shit like that, and you're like
Jordan Teamu.
Or
we're just naming all the Hawks quarterbacks.
Like these guys are cool.
Although the UFL's been kind of cool because you see do you remember like Jake Bates plays like kickers? I think kickers it's helped them a lot. But Jake Bates, all of a sudden, like he had like multiple 60-yarders for like the Detroit Panthers or whatever.
The Michigan Panthers.
The Michigan Panthers. They played at Ford Field, and he walked off a game on like a 62-yard field goal. And you're like, that's pretty cool. And now he plays in the NFL, but it's
for the Lions.
Yeah,
he plays. For the
it's
Lions.
like Hakeem Butler is like a freaking UFL dog, and then it's like every year it's like somebody will give him a training camp invite, and he just doesn't quite make it.
No, I think that he like specifically turns down. Like he stays in the UFL. Like who wouldn't, bro? He's the best player UFL's ever had.
you could be like the seventh best receiver on your team, or you could be the best receiver in the entire league. Like,
Exactly. KJ Hamler is he is playing wide receiver for some team. Matt
Yeah.
Corral.
people
of
can
course.
people can make fun of the UFL. I want it to succeed. It's fun.
Dude, it is. Shout out. Go to 5outpod.com. There's definitely an article out about it. I love the UFL. I think it is like such a fun product, and I just think it's so fun. It's so fun, and it's not gonna fail because Dwayne the Rock Johnson is providing the funds for it, and I don't know if you know who that is, but he's got a shit ton of money. He's got a lot of it.
Well, yeah. The only thing that I could think is like even some people with a lot of money, and we have ownership that has a lot of money. Eventually, they'll get tired of losing their lots of money. However,
But
like I don't see it failing though because they're really in bed with Fox and ESPN
yeah, they
from a
have
network rights perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Read the article on outpod.com, guys. Come on now. Hey, keep up with the content. Wrote an article about it. It's whatever. It's cool.
Hey, do
Anyways,
you guys want to talk a little March Madness expansion and then touch on the NHL playoffs?
let me cover the rest of the NBA playoffs.
Here,
And
okay.
then
Here's,
we'll-
can I?
I want to move this along, Austin.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
we're-
keep the
we're having
viewers
fun.
engaged here.
Let's do this for the NBA playoffs. I'm gonna go through the bracket series by series. I'm gonna read you the headline that has prevailed on social media for the past week. We can talk about it briefly. We move on to the next series. Okay. So yeah, Thunder Suns was like the most no sweat series ever. The Thunder are dominant. Okay, moving down. Lakers Rockets, LeBron GOAT legacy stuff. Like we could talk about this for days on end probably. But like,
Yep.
what has this series done for LeBron's case? If he needs help with his case, I still claim that he's.
I don't
already-
think he needs help, personally, but continue.
But like what this series leading the offense of a 41-year-old, like at 41 leading the offense, like he's been the third best player on the team all year. Both the top two guys are hurt. He steps into the lead role once again, and he beats he goes up 3-0, almost blows the series against the Rockets. But then yeah, without KD in Game 6, the Lakers win the series. So the LeBron
Shout out
and KD
Bron.
aspect of the series, that's kind of what has been talked about the most. And Luke Kennard being like a role player specimen. Yeah. Anything you want to add to that? Should I move on?
Luke Kennard is somebody that probably should be in the G League, but he's not in the G League, and he's dropping 27 points in a playoff game.
I believe there's some stat out there. I'm not sure what it is, but he's one of the most efficient shooters ever. Like
Yeah, he's. I'm pretty sure he's like top 3 all time in 3-point percentage.
he's unbelievable.
I think that is a
No wonder-
conversation that.
If you are a Luke Kennard type player next year or like this summer, and you are not signing up to play in a JJ Redick offense, what are you doing? Right? Like
Yeah,
that's
like-
the guy that's going to find looks for you. If you are like JJ Redick, you should want to play for JJ Redick. That's just like a no-brainer. Okay, the next series was the 3-6, which was the Jokic Legacy series on the opposite
series
end of the
was so
spectrum.
much fun, bro.
And then the Minnesota, no Ant, no Dante DiVincenzo. You've got the Iodo Sumu Game 4 40 ball, which was unbelievable.
Fuck.
And then he gets hurt. And then you have the Terrence Shannon, Jaden McDaniels Game 6 to close it out. Shout out to Illini. But
Shout out
also,
Jaden McDaniels, bro. Shout out Jay Money. He
him.
was so tough.
And then you've got the role reversal on the Jokic Gobert like media perception. Gobert's been like the laughing stock of the league for years, and the analytics will say he's the best defender ever. And then he gets played off the floor in every series. He owned Jokic this whole series, and Jokic, who, people are starting to call that 2023 ring a little fraudulent because of the path that they faced at the time. But like, he's shown the last 3 years that like
Ring is a ring.
maybe he isn't the legendary offensive piece that the numbers would tell you he is.
Damn.
That's what people are
I
saying.
got nothing to add to that.
I'm not providing
feels
any
good.
opinions. This is just what people are talking about.
Yeah,
and then-
I've seen the discourse for sure.
And then we have the 2-7, which was the Spurs and the Blazers. And pretty much all the talk has been about Wembanyama, him like getting concussed and coming back a couple days later, and then B, how like outright liberal he is playing against Deni Avdija, who is from Israel, and has stated his stance on that. So that there's been a kind of headbutting with the two fan
Okay.
bases there.
I will.
So yeah,
add
anything
something
that we want
to
to touch on with Wemby and or the
Deni Avdija, and we get and Deni and Şengün are the two biggest vaginas in all of basketball.
dude, I forgot to mention that we got an all-time meme clip out of LeBron in Game 6 where he's like calling
Everybody
Şengün
else
soft.
but you.
Everyone but you can talk. Yeah. What
They
a
are
goat!
the
Like
two softest like literally the two, like everybody says, oh, Bron, he flops. I'm gonna show them Şengün and Deni Avdija, and I'm gonna say, I want you to watch these guys play for what they probably average like 34 minutes a game. I want you to watch those guys play for 34 minutes in a basketball game, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on these guys, and you'll say, wow, they are vaginas.
oh, and then just like I think the overarching theme of the NBA playoffs so far, as far as what I've seen, again, on Twitter, the headline, the number one tweet that everything runs back to is somebody tweeted out, enough with the spreadsheet analytics. Basketball is about who's a bitch and who isn't.
Exactly, bro. That is how exactly.
That's what this playoffs have been. Okay, moving to the East, right? 1-8 Magic Pistons. The Magic almost won the series, and I believe it was in 2003. The Detroit Pistons were the number 1 seed, and the Magic were the number 8. And all 7 games played out identically to how they played out in 2003, 23 years ago. That's the story of that series.
That's crazy.
Like, all 7 game results were the exact same. And the Magic were the 8, the Pistons were the 1.
Down to the scores?
The scores were not the same, but, like, the results
Okay.
were. Like,
Okay, yeah.
The Magic won game
Magic
1.
won a 3-1, then they lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
That was that game 6 was probably one of the most pitiful basketball games. That, and I want to say it was it had to have been the 2018 or 2017 Rockets. When the Rockets
the
missed
2018 0 for 27 game,
yeah, when they missed literally every single 3-pointer they shot. And then the Magic, they were up 14, or they were up like 18 at one point in that game. And they actually missed 20 consecutive shots. They did not make a single shot in that time frame. Like that, holy crap! That's one of the worst performances I've ever seen, especially in a closeout game at home. You know, like, oh man, that was brutal. All-time collapse. But yeah.
And then moving down, we have the 4-5 series where the Cavs beat the Raptors in 7 games, and that series was kind of like a hold my beer. Like you watch the ugly basketball on Pistons Magic, watch this series. It's worse.
Yeah,
that's
it was
what I got.
really. It was bad.
And then you've got just the Cavs backcourt, even though they survived, right? The Donovan Mitchell, James Harden career kind of playoff dropper, aura around them coming to light again. So we'll see, are they, because coming into this year, the Cavs were the team that was like kind of destined to be like, this is our year to win the East, right?
Yep.
They get the 1 seed last year, they lose early. They bring in Harden this year, like now or never, right? Especially in this year's Eastern Conference. So we'll see what they're able to do. Then we have, what was the 3-6? That was your Knicks Hawks. That was the Knicks flip the switch series, right? They go down 2-1. The Hawks were like kind of in control of the series. They're up 2-1 on their home court. And then the Knicks beat them by like 70, right?
Oh, wait. I did see that because I saw the clip of Charles Barkley doing CPR. Or no, Shaquille O'Neal doing CPR on the bird on the desk. That NBA knowledge right here.
There it is. That's what you come to 5 out for.
Yes.
I take it back actually about what I said about the Magic. I think that is actually the most pitiful game. Like,
Was there a
What'd
score
What'd you say
at
about
one
the
point
Magic?
where the Knicks were in the 70s and the Hawks were in the 20s?
yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Someone
Yes.
grab a screenshot of that. There was like a 50-point game midway through the second. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yes. Like,
Um,
I don't understand how you go that cold. Like, I don't understand how you genuinely like
the new
this
era.
team. I
We're
fucking-
spraying and
yes.
praying. That's what the NBA is now. It's spray and pray, right? You
Golly.
get open threes, you take them. If you make them all, then you're gonna win by 70. If you miss them all, you're gonna lose by 70. Right? That's what the
Yeah.
NBA is. That's
Yeah.
what happened. That's what happened to the Celtics. Right? They go up 3-1 on the Sixers. They're dominant. Embiid comes back, and Embiid has completely reversed his legacy in one
Oh,
first-round
dude.
series, allegedly. People are saying people are rooting for Embiid. That was unthinkable in the past, but
Is that how this
media
works?
I'm
has
rooting
come back
for Embiid,
around on
man.
Joel Embiid.
I'm rooting for him.
And then Jaylen Brown goes on live stream after losing Game 7 and calls him a flopper. And I don't know any I didn't watch the stream or anything, but that's kind of what I've seen stuff
Jaylen
about.
Brown is, oh my gosh.
And
he is-
Jason Tatum doesn't play Game 7.
Go find me the two corniest NBA players, and I will pull up Jaylen Brown, and I will pull up Jason Tatum. Like, it just so happens that they play on the same basketball team. Jaylen Brown, oh my gosh, because that's so funny to me because he earlier in the season he was spray painting his hairline. That was the infamous clip of him rubbing his head on a player and his hair, the player's jersey's just black. No, but dude, it was Joel Embiid. Oh my gosh. He's annoying, and he's he never plays ever. But now it's damn, I kind of feel bad for him. He never plays. He had his appendix taken out of him 2 weeks ago. No, his Game 7 performance was so awesome. It was so cool seeing him fucking limp up in the court and still hoop. It was so chill. He actually did reverse the entire narrative on him.
A lot of narrative switches in the first round of the playoffs this year.
That's
right?
what happens. I mean,
people, yeah.
I think
The seesaw.
people are really. It's super quick to be able to do that, and then come next year, they're gonna be like, Jokic is a top 5 player of all time. He's gonna win MVP again, and Rudy Gobert is gonna be the laughingstock again. But at the end,
Hey,
of the
don't
day,
talk about my boy Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, let's talk about Rudy Gobert.
The one thing that I want to say, just to kind of sum up the whole NBA conversation, is I think most of our childhood, we would have said the NBA playoffs is the most predictable sporting playoff in pro sports, and maybe in college sports too, right? We lived in a period where every year it was LeBron's coming out of the East, and then either the Spurs or then the Warriors dynasty was coming out of the West. And we were like, can we just fast forward and get to that series? The past 7 years, we've had 7 different champions, right? Maybe it's 8 years. The NBA, in its move to the analytics era, where everyone is shooting a ton of threes, it's really the playoffs now come down to 2 things. It's kind of luck-based with how you're shooting the ball.
Shooting luck, yeah.
Series, and it's a war of attrition because they play 82 games. Guys get hurt. Stars are getting hurt every playoff series. And it's just who is the healthiest team left that's also making their shots. And so I think that is kind of what has contributed to this parity era where we've had a different champion each year. And especially this year, right? The Celtics, obviously, I mean, they were without Tatum for a large portion of the year, but they were the prohibitive favorite to come out of the East. And they were up 3-1 on this team, and they have 3 straight bad shooting nights, and their season's over. And it's they're probably more talented than Philly. They're probably still the most talented team left in the East. But, that's all it takes now is, if you can heat up or if you go cold, your season is over. So
Kind of reminds you of baseball a little bit.
it does.
Like,
It's moved a
how-
lot towards what baseball is in
Yeah.
the playoffs.
you get hot at the right time. I mean, we saw the Arizona Diamondbacks go to the freaking World Series. And I'm pretty sure that's the year that the 8-seeded Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat made it to the NBA
Yeah.
Finals. You know, then you see a team like the Nuggets; they win it that year, and I mean, I don't think they've been relatively. I don't even think they've made a Western Conference Finals since then. So
The
you know,
the
it's-
thing with the baseball playoffs is like you need to have such a long season that
Yeah.
you know who the good teams are and who the bad teams are because you play 162 games. You're going to figure that out in that sample size. And then you get
Yeah.
to the playoffs and it's 1 7-game series, or in the divisional series you get 1 5-game series, right?
Yeah.
You can have 3 good starts from your pitchers and that will win you
Yep.
the series. That's all it takes. You have to win 3 or
Yep.
4 games. And so that's kind of what's contributed to that playoff being so random forever. For years, the NBA 7-game series was the least random outcome like ever. You're
Yeah.
like, the NBA, if we play 7 games, we are guaranteed to figure out who the better team is.
Yeah.
Every single
that's
time.
how it used to
For
be.
years.
At least.
And now it's just a lot more luck based, I think, right? And again, and injuries. Like I think that's what it is.
I think
And-
you could say that with the NHL playoffs, though they've been random for a long time.
That's
You
true.
almost never see a back-to-back champion.
One thing that I also think plays into that is the difference in scoring margins, right? On the individual game level of each sport, right? In hockey, it's probably more likely that a team with, like, I don't know, just run differential is so different that, like, in baseball, if you're going to score 10 runs a game between both teams on average, right, that you can have some wonky outcomes. Whereas in the NBA, you have so many possessions that, like, over the course of a game, you can see 30-point leads. Like a good team is going to beat a bad team by 30 more than the other way. Whereas in baseball, I think just because the scores are closer, and hockey the same way, it's just a lot more likely that you see like a 1-1 game go to overtime. Whereas in the NBA, you have to match 109 to 109 to get to overtime. There's just a lot more opportunity.
Sorry, guys. Hey, hang on. Phil Maton is pitching.
Oh,
We gotta lock in.
Oh boy, do I remember Phil Maton.
Cardinals.
Back
What?
in my day.
It's just like
2024.
we were talking about the Cubs, or the Cubs bullpen. Like Phil Maton is in a leverage spot in the 7th inning right now. Oof.
Hey, and you guys are red hot doing it. So
Yeah, it's working for now.
yeah,
I said
yeah,
I remember I sent my brother a text message as Cubs fans. I sent my brother a text message. It was like, oh my God, somebody was warming up to close the game. Oh my God, who was it? I can't pull up the text now. It was like it was Javier Assad was warming up to come in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. I'm like, oh my God.
that's baseball.
I was like,
You play.
this
162
cannot
games.
be. Yeah. Good stuff. I want to mention hockey briefly,
Do it, yeah.
just so I can brag on the Buffalo Sabres. Shout out Buffalo, man. They waited a long time to make the playoffs. And then to beat Boston in the first round, like I think at this point they could lose and it wouldn't matter. Like finally bring a little bit of excitement back to Buffalo.
That's good. I mean, yeah, big for them. The NHL playoffs, just like from my personal vantage point, I feel like once we get into the conference finals is kind of where I'll tap in, just because like there's so much basketball going on right now that like that's going to take priority for me. But then once the games start to disperse a little bit more, I'm hopping right back in and I'm getting into the hockey and about the conference finals. But
Avalanche Wild Game 1 was nuts last night too.
I've seen. Was that the one where
there was 13 goals scored?
Yes. And all of them were late, right? Weren't a lot of them?
Yeah, it was a lot of. Yeah, the Avs were up we're up 2, I believe, in the second period, and then the Wild scored 3 goals in a row in the second period to tie the game at 5. It's just what a wild sequence of events.
Yeah. And who was it that won the game with 9 shots on goal? Like there wasn't there a
I
game
think
7? Or was it Tampa that got beat?
Oh my God, yes. I was it the Oilers? No.
I saw someone won a playoff game, like won a game 7 with 9 shots on goal, and that's
Canadians. The Canadians.
Yes. That's like
against Tampa.
That's like winning a playoff game in the 9th inning with like a 2-run home run, and the first guy got on with a walk. And that was your only hit of the game.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like an apt comparison?
I would say so. I haven't watched. Yeah. I've been a little bit locked in on college athletics around here.
Sure.
So
I would say
I've
watched a lot of
not watched a ton of NHL playoffs.
Yeah. So
well, ladies,
should we save the expansion talk for next pod?
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah.
You're gonna have to build out a
that could be its own episode.
I think
there's
a world
there's a lot to
which,
break down.
Yeah, maybe on one of these road trips that we go on, maybe I drive and I just like kind of record myself in the car and I just kind of rant and go live, and that can be like a whole week show.
What if I propose we do like a little bit of like a 5-out pod special where we all like just come with what our gripes are and like
the airing of grievances?
have done our little bit of homework about this.
The 5-out airing of grievances? We're going to have to get Triplet on that episode.
But specifically, but it can only be about the NCAA tournament.
Oh, I mean, again, like,
or we can air grievances. Sure, like that's fine. Like, I would love to see Nick Triplet again.
You're gonna have to
redo our top 10 hate list that we made back at Thrillville. We
that was fun. I think maybe again we're gonna have to build out the runway for that. Like I said, like I'm gonna need a crisp 30.
Just Graham.
Dude, Brendan, bro, we presented it. We like this was a huge deal for us that week. And then that was the infamous Fozzie incident.
I think we had like a week or like a couple day road trip, and like on a Sunday before Austin left with the team, we were all like doing something in the ballpark, and I was like, hey, let's come whenever you get back from the trip, let's all come with a list of 10 sports teams or players that you really despise, and we'll just kind of like present our lists. And then like he came back on that Friday or whatever, and we all just kind of went to town, just like ranting about players and teams we hated.
We really did get it off. We got a lot off our chest.
And then Fozzie came in. He didn't have a list prepared, and he just started riffing. And it was one of the better riffs. That's one of the hardest I think I've laughed in the past 5 years.
Hey, who was the guy that would fit into our immaculate grid in like every square? Who did we ban?
Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah.
That was Joey's default, bro. It was Jonathan Lucroy. And he just throws.
I think what's crazy is that you could, about like 12 different combinations of teams, you could put Jonathan Lucroy down for, though. Like,
I think there was one day where it was like, because he was a Cub, right? At one point?
Yes.
I think there was one
for
day
like not very long.
I just threw like Cubs Brewers on the list, and Joey's like Lucroy. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then from that day on, he like studied his baseball reference page, and he's like, can we get Lucroy in today? It was like Braves and I don't know who else.
Yeah,
like,
okay. I just looked it up. He played for the
Red Sox.
The Brewers. Wait, I looked it up. He played for the Brewers, the Rangers, the Rockies, the Athletics, the Angels, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Nationals, and the Braves.
Who did he play
And the
for
Braves was like
12?
very briefly, I remember.
Yeah. So,
and I think the Red Sox was also very limited as well.
Four at bats.
We've got some good ideas.
Yeah.
Coming up.
He played one game with the Red Sox.
Hey, can Lucroy fit in for Red Sox Cubs? Yes. He can.
Technically, yes.
You know what we should do again? Like with how our schedules have been, we need to start, like I said, just kind of figuring out when to do it. Just like piecing it together and just like, hey, we're just gonna go live on this night randomly. But we should do, since we're like summer talk. Like I said, this is the time that we can get a little more creative with our episodes, just like kind of pulling back the curtain. So we should just like once a week or however often we do shows, have someone come prepared with a hate list or with a an airing of their grievances.
So if we
and we'll just like
it.
and we'll just tease that.
Gladly.
We'll do that at the end
Gladly.
of each episode.
All right, so number 8 this week. No, dude, Lance Lynn made it. He made it to the top 3. Brendan, Lance Lynn was in my top 3 most hated athletes or teams.
I wonder if I still have that list written down somewhere.
I so do. I so do.
I'll tell you
You
right
know
now,
what?
my list has changed heavily. I think, right? Like I remember, I think Zach Edey was in my top 5. He doesn't affect my life anymore. Same with like Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, he's kind of out of the picture for me, so that's not really a huge deal.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I think JJ McCarthy is probably in my top 3.
I'm still up there.
Yeah, I
Good
wouldn't
show.
have. Yeah. Good show. It's good to be back. We'll see you sometime.
This is just
I gotta change the title of this episode because
I need to show you how to do that before the episode starts.
Yeah.
That's on me. I can do that.
I do need to do that.
It was just a 90-minute vibes, hangout session. That's really all it needed to be,
Yeah.
This is more for
that's
us
all
than
it
the
needed to
audience, to be honest.
Absolutely.
We needed to see each other.
Yeah, it's been too long.
But
We
I'll repost it tomorrow on the socials. Might cut up some clips as well, depending on if I get any good ones.
thank you, Riverside.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Riverside AI, dude, came up clutch last time. But anyways, fellas, it was.
Hey, you're still adding the captions and whatnot too, though.
Yeah, which I added the captions, I added the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, give Austin credit.
Yeah, just something like that. But
Team effort.
ladies and gentlemen,
Social
if you
media
have tuned
manager,
in, if you've tuned in, we appreciate you. If you're tuning in after this is live and done, we appreciate you. But fellas,
keep the
until next
website,
time,
5uppod.com. Adios.
5uppod.com. We still got content coming out. I just released a Kyle Freeland article. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you later.